Hi guys! I'm going to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in a couple of weeks and I am so excited. So in honour of that I thought that today I would do the Harry Potter spells tag, which I first saw on my friend Claire Rousseau's channel, but it was actually started by somebody else. Unfortunately I can't find the original video. I've clicked the link in other people's video descriptions and it just doesn't work. I get an error message, so I can't say who came up with this tag, but if I do find out I will credit them in the description. So I bought my wand. It's 17 centimetres long with a core of carbon. It's not that great of magic, to be honest. I can just make pictures and words of it, and not even very good pictures. I'm not sure I'm a very good witch. Question number 1 is Expecto Patronum! A childhood book connected to good memories. Now, I don't really remember being read to very much as a child because I learnt to read quite early on. I taught myself to read, my mum says. She didn't deliberately teach me, I just kind of picked it up. I mostly read by myself. I didn't particularly like reading aloud to other people or being read aloud to. I wanted to keep it all in my head. So my best childhood memories are of completely losing myself in a good book and becoming completely obsessed by it. And I have loads of books I could mention for this question, but I'm going to talk about what Katie did at school. Now, weirdly, I never read what Katie did or what Katie did next. I just read what Katie did at school. And I loved it. It really fed into my obsession with boarding school books, which continues to this day. I had read the Enid Blyton boarding school books previously, but what I really liked about what Katie did at school was that it seemed a little bit more advanced. I could carry on reading it when I was a teenager without it feeling too childish. And I just loved the stories of them hiding out in their rooms with all their friends and getting into mild trouble but nothing too serious, and some friendship things, and it was just nice. There's this one scene in which Katie and her sister Clover get sent some presents from home. I think it's for Christmas. They get this box of stuff, and I used to try to recreate this box of stuff by finding objects around the house which were as similar as I could imagine to the things described. So they'd get like pocket watches and embroidery scissors and things like that, and I didn't necessarily have all these objects because, you know, I was a child in the 90s and early noughties, and I didn't have all these old-fashioned things that they had in the box, and they couldn't put any food in the box, so the whole food portion I had to leave out. But I would still try my best to recreate this box and pretend that I was either Katie or Clover. I kind of always preferred Clover. I wish I was Clover, to be honest. Yeah. Number 2, Expelliarmus, a book that took you by surprise. Now, if you watch my wrap-ups on my own channel, then you'll know that I was pleasantly surprised by this one already. And I've chosen Love Song by Sophia Bennett because I was expecting to enjoy this, but I wasn't expecting to fall madly, desperately in love. I was obsessed with this book. I could hardly bear to put it down while I was reading it. It's just so amazing. It's about a girl who goes on tour with her boy band, who are One Direction levels of fame, and how she sees all the darker sides of the fame, and she kind of falls in love with the lot of them, but also in love with a particular member as well at the same time. So it's a romance, but it's also got some real insights into the teenage experience and fame and all that kind of thing, and it's just fab. Number 3, Prior Incantato, the last book you read. The last book I read was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the first book by Maggie Stiefvater I've ever read, and I really enjoyed it. It was also the best audiobook I've ever listened to, which isn't that impressive because I think I've only listened to 4 audiobooks. Maybe some more if you count the classics I've listened to via LibriVox. It's about a girl and a group of boys who are trying to find this mysterious dead Welsh king who they think they can raise from his tomb and he will bestow a favour upon them. It's all very mysterious, atmospheric, and it's beautifully read on the audiobook. There's music at the start and at the end, which is just gorgeous, and I believe there's some more of it in the second book, which I've already downloaded from the library, so I'm looking forward to that. Number 4, Aloha Mora! A book that introduced you to a genre you had not considered before. Like Claire, I'm going to pick a Dragon Riders of Pern book. However, I am going to go for Dragon Song because that's the first one I read in the series. My best friend at school introduced me to the series, and she made me start off with the first Harper Hall one because that was kind of the recommended order at the time. It just really broadened my horizons. I didn't read science fiction or fantasy before that point. In fact, I quite often made fun of her for reading weird books. I was like, "Are you reading one of your weird books again?" when she was like reading Terry Pratchett or Tamora Pierce or something. Because I mostly read contemporary books, which I thought were, you know, normal, straightforward thing to read. And also contemporary YA is still my favourite genre now, but because I read the Harper Hall trilogy and then the rest of the Dragon Riders of Pern series, my mind was opened to a wonderful world of science fiction and fantasy books that I love almost as much as I do contemporaries. Number 5, Ridiculous! A funny book you've read. Now, because I haven't mentioned this for at least 5 minutes, I'm going to say Have a Little Faith by Candy Harper because it is so funny. I love this so much. I read the second one immediately after I finished the first one. I haven't read the third one yet. In fact, I don't even own the third one. I should fix that. Our Little Faith is about a girl called Faith, and she's just an absolutely fantastic comedy heroine. I won't talk very much about this because I actually did a whole video on why Faith is wonderful and the perfect comedy heroine. I will link that as a card and in the description box. Number 6, Sonorous! A book you think everybody should know about. I'm going to pick Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho because it was the first thing that came to mind. I really enjoyed it. It's so much fun. It's got sorcerers, badass women, fairies, dragons, charming, delightful prose, comedy, real peril, and just everything you could possibly want in a fun, alternate history fantasy type book. It's just amazing and I recommend it so much. Number 7, Obliviate! A book or spoiler you would like to forget having read. As I was planning for this tag, I watched quite a few other people's interpretations of it, and so I am kind of stealing this answer from Awkward Book Geek because he said that he would choose to forget the whole Harry Potter series so that he could read them all over again, and I think that's a fantastic idea, so I would do that too, but I'd have to ensure that I had first gone on holiday to the middle of nowhere. Literally the middle of nowhere, where there is no Wi-Fi signal, like somewhere between 2 hills or something. You know, somewhere where I would be left alone and undisturbed, no one would spoil me, and I'd need all the food, I would need no company, so nobody could possibly tell me what was going to happen. And then I just need to read them all in one go. That's the only way it'd be possible, because if I just, in my ordinary life, lost all my memories of the Harry Potter series, not only could I barely function in conversation with a lot of my friends, but also I would struggle to reread them all without getting spoiled in the meantime. 8 is Imperio! A book you had to read for school. Now, I could have mentioned many Shakespeare plays and stuff like that, but actually I'm going to talk about one of the first young adult books that I ever read, which I had to read in year 7, and that was The Runaways by Ruth Thomas. Apparently it won the Guardian Children's Fiction Award in 1988, which means it was quite late when I was reading it at school, 10 years later, in 1998 or 1999. I remember it particularly well because it was about 2 kids. I think one of them was either black or mixed race, which was kind of a new thing for me to see in books. And they didn't get on with their parents, they didn't get on at school very well, teachers didn't like them, the other children didn't like them, and they didn't even like each other. But when they stumbled across a large sum of money, they decide to run away together to the seaside. It's not a happy, light and breezy book. They don't, then go on a fun, silly adventure. They actually struggle a lot, and I thought it was really realistic. I was a really fast reader, so I must have read this book about 5 times in the weeks that we were studying it, and so it does stick in my head quite well. It'd be interesting to reread it now and see what I thought of it. Let me know in the comments if you've read this book recently. Number 9 is Crucio, a book that was painful to read. I'm going to pick Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill, not because it was a bad book, but because it was just quite difficult at times to get through. It just kind of fills you with this sense of impending doom throughout, like you know nothing good is going to happen in this world. And it's just really quite hard going and difficult, and the ending is inevitable, and you know, to the extent where I kind of guessed that was going to happen, but it didn't make it any less bleak. Finally, number 10, Avada Kedavra, a book that could kill. Now, guys, I want to say, if you're looking for a book that can kill, you're going about this the wrong way, because, you know, if you bludgeon someone to death with a book, or like drop it on their head or something, it's going to be pretty obvious that you did it. What you want to do is not use a single book, but use a whole bookcase of them. If they get squashed by a bookcase, it was an accident, right? Wasn't it? Yeah, totes an accident. Yeah, just push a bookcase over on them. Disclaimer, don't kill people. It's wrong. You'll go to prison for a long time. You'll have a death on your hands. It's just generally bad times. Don't do it, kids. Don't do it. But, you know, if you're going to do it and you're going to involve books, just push a bookcase over. I mean, you know, as long as you're quite strong. Don't do it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, click the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more from me and the other Bookish Brits. Also check out my own channel, the link is in the description box. And leave me a comment if you have done this tag yourself, or if you plan to do this tag, because I tag all of you. Everybody, come on, let's celebrate Harry Potter, because it's the cursed child. We're all so excited. Yay! You'll see me again in a couple of weeks. Bye!